Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to another podcast on the Kynection Partner Spotlight. Today, I've got a fantastic gentleman here today, Alex Townsend from Choice Energy. Say hello to your fans out there and all the people that follow you and the cult that you lead. Um,
Yeah,
how you
Phil,
going, mate?
thanks for having me. Great to be here. Really excited to talk over the next 20, 30 minutes to discuss the partnership opportunities and I guess a little bit about Choice Energy and what we do.
Excellent, mate. Now, you're quite unique to some of the other partners I've had on the podcast, which are like ERP implementers to like pay.com.au to like Trailed and ISVs and AP automation. You have a unique perspective. So tell us a little bit of Choice Energy and essentially your role and how did you come to what you're doing now?
Yeah, so Choice Energy itself, we're an energy management company that operates B2B in Australia. We have over 13,000 business customers, and it's all essentially around helping businesses use less and pay less when it comes to energy. And we do that in two fundamental ways. First way being assessing the rates on an energy bill to make sure that they're as competitive as they possibly can be. 80% of businesses are on rates that aren't as competitive as they can be. That second way is also looking at commercial solar feasibility for businesses as well. And now with how rates have increased over 100% of the wholesale rate since 2020, solar is a really cash flow positive option for a lot of businesses, where that return on investment has reduced significantly and almost cut in half in the last 5 years. So it's about reducing the energy that they're consuming from the grid and exposing them a little bit less to that market volatility, as well as making sure that the rates that they continue to consume from the energy grid are as cheap as they possibly can be.
Yeah, huge. It's super benefit. Before we get into some questions, give us a little case study of what you've analyzed before you approached the company, the solution that you presented, and maybe some key benefits and outcomes that happened once they came on board as a Choice Energy customer.
Yeah, so a key one would probably be Romeo's retail group, which is a major retail group in the IGA franchise under the Metcash banner. We helped contract their New South Wales sites and recontract through that recontracting and negotiation of the rates, help them save about $2.8 million over the contract term across 3 years. The post-sale service of that as well was that they got our metering and monitoring service, which allows us to actually use all the data that we see on an energy bill and marry that up with the data that we receive at the meter level and actually make sure that those charges that they're seeing on the bill are 100% correct. We were able to identify those charges were actually overcharges of about $50,000 over the course of a quarter, so totaling $200,000 a year. We were able to get that and contest that against the retailer who was able to put the credit back on the customer's bill in that scenario. So that whole process from contract negotiation to be able to actually find the overcharges on the bill as well didn't cost the Romeo's retail group anything. And you can see it on our website as well. It was over $2.8 million that we're able to save them in that process.
Oh, huge. And once you get more histories and more data from the customer, does the Choice Energy solution become better because you're just getting more data coming in, and then you're identifying patterns in different seasons, in different climates, and also in different different rates that come change? Do you notice that stuff in year 2, year 3? The significant outcomes become better.
That's right. There's probably two things to say to that. So the first one is the data that we'll collect over a certain period of time. So 6 to 12 months will allow us to analyze when a business is using their power and how much they're using it. That will allow us to do another post-sale service that we do for all of our large market customers, which is running a network tariff assessment. So as a general rule, 10% of businesses that we run these assessments through are on a network tariff that's costing them more money than what they should be. And so every 6 months, the energy networks will actually change the network tariff structures and how they work. So we run that process ad hoc for our large market customers to be able to identify when there's an more optimal network tariff for them. Your network distributor is not going to tell you if there's a more optimal network tariff out there for you. And so we do that for businesses because most businesses would not know where to start with that type of operation. The second part to that, with the more data that we're able to collect, is actually know when the right time is in the energy market to look at securing and forward contracting your next contracted rates with your retailer. So a lot of businesses don't know that they can secure rates now for when their contract ends in the future. It's mitigating risk and exposure to the volatile energy market, as well as being able to secure rates at an optimal time that's being, I guess, brought forward to you by an expert consultant in the field.
Interesting. All right, let's get into. I've already asked a couple of questions, and I'm pretty sure some of these questions are already answered based on your intro and what I've just asked you now. But you do have competitors out there. So what makes you quite unique to some of the people that are currently doing what you're doing, and what are the direct benefits to our customers that you can provide? You've already mentioned a couple, obviously the massive savings, but please share any further.
Yeah, I guess one unique one there is that the sales guys are a team of energy geeks. They're on the energy market every day, analysing the opportunities that are in front of them, as well as what the future market outlooks look like, all around making sure that they're putting the customer that they're dealing with in the best possible position that they can be, given their circumstances. It's pretty hard to fabricate that type of interest and intrigue in the energy market to be able to provide those solutions. That's certainly something that sets us apart. Another one is the value that we put on relationships. So the customers that we work with, we've had customers that have been customers of ours since the inception of the company over 12 years ago. It's something that we value pretty highly, especially from a partnerships perspective as well. We're not someone that's going to secure your contract and in 2 years' time you're never going to hear anything from us. We're going to provide those market updates. We're going to provide those bill validation stories for you as well to make sure that the customer is aware that we know when we're going to help them, and that we're there for any help that they need as well in future. So it's definitely building those relationships and building that trust as well.
Excellent. And list some of the key industries that you work with that your specialists really know about. Is it construction? Is it manufacturing? What are the industry trends that they start to see, and how they can notify customers before the rates, so they can actually find the best timing to incorporate the choice?
So I'd say, look, manufacturing, retail and hospitality would be three of the key industries that we work with. I guess the beauty of what we do is that if there's an industry group or a business that pays an energy bill, we can help them. Now, the challenges that all of those industries have faced, and other industries as well, over the last 3 or 4 years, is their energy costs have doubled or more than doubled in some cases. And so it's gone from what was an operational expense that wasn't in the top 10 of things for businesses to worry about to now top 3. And so it's something that's really crucial of not only the industry associations that we work with, but our partners as well, to ensure that they're providing a solution to their members and customers that's going to be able to keep them going for the next 3, 4, 5 years, and give them a little bit of certainty of their costs and operational expenses when it comes to energy, because it's become such an enormous portion of their operational spend.
Yeah, wow, excellent. Can you share some ways how our partnership can enhance our mutual customers?
Yeah, so I think there's probably a few limiting beliefs that a lot of businesses and a lot of Australians in general will have when it comes to energy. Energy is probably a word that has a pretty negative connotation around it. I don't think anyone likes paying their energy bill, and by consequence, not many people are probably going to like their energy retailer. So by being able to work with a trusted provider and consultant in the area, you know that, one, you're not going to be dealing with a cowboy who's going to be come in, do their work, probably not even put you in the best position, and then walk away and you never hear from them again. You're working from someone that you trust. And with how we tender and go out to market for our contracted rates, and for those businesses as well, is to get the rates from every single retailer that we work with, which is over 18 now in the market. So you know that with our tender reports and the solutions that we provide to the customer in those tender reports, you're getting the best possible rate in the market at that point in time. And you know that there's no smoke and mirrors. We get paid the same regardless of the retailer as well. We don't have any preference as to who a customer goes to. So they're able to pick the best option for them and for their circumstances as well.
Yeah, wow. Quite interesting. Yeah. It's really good. It's really good. I'm sure you can't share who's the worst energy provider out there, but I'm sure you've got a few up there in,
We'll
in your list.
Those people listening can probably make up their mind as to
Okay.
the worst retailer is. I guess that's pretty subjective depending on people's experiences.
Hey, I've got solar and it's great. And as you know, I'm a big Tesla guy, so energy is life for me, and I can't wait until Choice Energy start making nuclear energy one day.
I think that's a little bit of a while away. That's probably another taboo subject, depending on, I guess, what side of the fence you lean on politically.
Yeah, fair enough. Yep. Can you share any innovative strategies that that Choice Energy are doing, and you can bring to the table, and how we can collaborate with our mutual customers and our current customers at Kynection?
ESG is something that's becoming more and more, I guess, prevalent across industries, and so there's opportunities around, I guess, how you work on your scope 2 and scope 3 emissions when it comes to the carbon that the business is going to be emitting from their energy use. And so there's strategies and plans that you can put in place with retailers to be able to have green power plans, carbon neutral options. We're also in the process and working with some companies that do large scale renewable certificate trading on the open market as well. So for those larger businesses that might have that 5, 10, 15 year outlook, there's strategies to be able to purchase those certificates that are going to be able to offset that carbon as well, which all go into that ESG reporting side of things and act favorably there. So there's plenty of things. It feels like it's changing every day, but they're the main ones that we're seeing across many industries, that ESG is becoming something really, really prevalent and something that businesses need to act on. And so we're looking at those strategies to be able to help them with that.
Yeah, excellent. We've done a bit of focus on that side of things too, of building an ESG calculator that allows us to measure the water usage as well as the fuel that's getting consumed. But yeah, that's great. To add energy on top of that as well is just it's the whole bang, and around 14001 ISO standard. That's I can see that being very, very prevalent in the environmental sector. Yeah. What long-term value will our partnership bring to customers and to keep them satisfied? Alex.
Yeah. So I guess the long-term value is ensuring that you're working with someone in the energy space that you and I guess the Kynection customers and partners can trust. That's a huge thing that we don't take lightly in terms of being able to, I guess, use that trust that you guys have with your customers and your network to be able to provide a really beneficial solution to customers. In terms of the value that we bring those customers, well, I guess energy is not getting any cheaper, and so strategies to be able to mitigate risk and exposure to fluctuations in the market, or to bill shock when you receive your energy bill on new rates and everything like that. It's important to work with a trusted advisor who understands the market and understands what potential future outlooks there are. I'm sure there's many people that are listening to this that use an accountant for their tax return, for example. A lot of people are going to use that to be able to make sure that they get as much return as possible. And so why does that need to be any different for your energy bill when you're spending enormous amounts through that? In terms of the satisfaction side of things, look, I think our results kind of speak for themselves over a long-term relationship that we build with a customer. We're going to deliver savings for them. We're going to deliver better outcomes than what they'd be able to do themselves. And it's not going to cost them anything to run through that process with us as well. So it's that kind of peace of mind that we provide, that worst case scenario, if we can't help you, well, you're not going to be seeing an invoice from Choice Energy anyway. So what's the harm in running an assessment to review to see what your opportunities are? And if there are opportunities to save, why don't you capitalize on them? Because there's not many not many opportunities this day and age to be able to capitalise on savings.
No. I love that analogy. Yeah, you pay an expert to manage your a tax return. Why can't you pay an expert to manage your energy? It's something that it's an ongoing cost for probably the end of your life. So, yeah, great example, mate. I don't know why you try to do it yourself and reinvent the wheel when there's people out there that just they've educated on this particular area.
Yeah, I think there's
yeah.
it's that education gap as well in terms of what is possible, and there's probably the belief that it takes a lot of time and effort to review all your options out there in the electricity market. So instead of doing that yourself, spend 5 minutes talking to us around those opportunities and save hours in the process.
Yeah. Excellent. Oh, now this is a bit of a question off the cuff. Since AI is such a buzzword out there, how has AI played any part of your company? Like, have you used anything in order to enhance better reporting, better statistics and analytics? Has it streamlined customer satisfaction? Tell me a little bit, Annie, how that's helped.
Yeah, probably a little bit of a personal anecdote of reviewing all of the energy bills that we received this calendar year. Was able to do some data and kind of use AI to be able to play around with it and give you some funky little statistics of, I guess, at what strike rate we're able to help businesses and what that kind of correlates to kind of make it a little bit fun and outgoing. So 80% of the bills that we've received this calendar year from all different types of businesses and business customers, we've been able to find a better result for, essentially. So that leaves only 20% that have been on rates that we've been unable to beat at a point in time, either because, one, they're on the best possible rates and we're unable to beat them, or because they're in contract for another 2 or 3 years and we don't recommend forward contracting that far out. I used the AI to be able to, I guess, use those stats there to provide a little bit of a tagline that you're more likely to see a shooting star in 2025, that being 30%, than you are to be on the best energy rates. So that's something that we've used there. And then as a company level, look, our sales guys use it as a prospecting tool a lot of the time to be able to find new companies, new industry verticals, new industry groups to be able to go out to market to, because our next best customer is the customer that we haven't spoken with. And then there's opportunities, and you probably know this yourself, Phil, in terms of the way that it can analyze data so quickly and provide whether it's solutions or just some basic analysis to be able to help you with an industry to target, or a retailer that might be outperforming others. Those kinds of things to be able to really help us nail down our process and make sure that we're targeting everything as specifically as we possibly can.
Yeah, well, it's really good. You're on the forefront of it, which is great, mate. All right, let's throw another curly one at you. What is your 5-year plan, and where do you see the market going?
Yeah, so where do I see the market going? There's a number of coal power stations that are set to close over the next 5 years. There's mainly, so there's Collide B, there's Yallourn, and there's Eraring Power Station. They're all closing over the next 3 to 5 years. Combined, those 3 power stations make up 20% of the grid capacity on the East Coast. So if we lose that, we are opening ourselves to extreme volatility of the market, where, and I'm happy to be wrong with this, but my gut feel is that renewables aren't going to be able to meet that demand that those current coal power stations are actually able to meet right now. And so that market outlook, we can't see energy rates getting significantly cheaper anytime soon. The infrastructure to be able to build these renewable projects as well needs to change. And so there's upgrades to infrastructure projects which increase the network costs, which are directly shown on an energy bill. They make up about 40% of your energy bill, and they're going to continue to increase year on year as we need to upgrade our infrastructure to deal with the amount of renewables. In terms of our 5-year plan, look, we've got 13,000 business customers. There's 2.5 million ABNs in Australia. So there's so many businesses out there that we haven't worked with. We're growing at a pretty exciting rate, especially over the last 12 to 24 months since the energy crisis really started to, I guess, gain traction and momentum. So we know that there's so many more businesses out there that we can help and work with. And it's going to mean that we continue to grow as energy prices continue to increase for businesses and we become more relevant in the day-to-day operations.
Would you go outside Australia? Would you look at New Zealand and global, or are you just strictly staying
Good
Aussie?
question. That's probably not a question for me. That's probably a question for Chris and Al.
Al? Yeah, all right. We'll bring Al on next time. All right.
It's an interesting one. I'm not too sure about the landscapes of different energy markets and how they operate. I mean, to put it into perspective, Western Australia and Northern Territory are very difficult energy markets themselves to be able for us to engage with. So when you put it in that context, to do that internationally is a whole nother level itself. So probably, a question for Chris and Alan on that.
Okay, perfect. All right, mate. Well, that will wrap it up for today. Thank you very much for coming on. Very nice little fresh breath there of just something different on the podcast, which is great. I love the stuff you're doing. I look forward to just having these conversations with our current customers and introducing to choice and giving them a way to look at their energy and the benefits that you can showcase. So I do thank you for coming. Thanks, Alex.
I appreciate it, Phil. Thanks for having me on.
Cheers, mate. Cheers.
Yeah.